This video is sponsored by Stampede. Nah, I'm kidding. I wish though. I love Stampede. It's an energy drink they only sell here on my university. GCU, if you're watching this, sponsor me, man. I swear you won't regret it. Yo, it is your boy, Hermie the Worm, coming at you live with a brand new series I am going to start. So, long story short, this spring break, I am embarking on a very long journey. Let me put a picture of it right here. Well, bam, look at that. I will be visiting all those places. So bring it back here. During which I made a list of historical places I will be visiting, such as forts, haunted locations, and in this case, today's video, the Gibraltar Point House. No, not the Gibraltar territory in Spain. I'm talking about the Gibraltar Lighthouse in Toronto. It is allegedly a haunted lighthouse with its spooky little ghost stories and all that fancy stuff. So, me being the history nerd I am, I decided to research the entire history of it, like I always do when it comes to these videos, tell it to you guys, but with a catch this time. I will be visiting the lighthouse personally. That's right, little old me will be going to Toronto to visit the lighthouse. I decided that instead of doing the entire history like how I did for Saskatchewan and Manitoba and British Columbia when I did the one about Point Roberts, I decided to kind of just switch it up a bit, you know. Those videos weren't really doing good, and so I'm trying to understand my audience better, and so since it didn't do well, but the Pied Piper incident of Hamlin did well, I decided might as well talk about folklore, you know. I don't mind switching to folklore, you know. I love history, and I love historical history, historical, haha. So, yeah, and before we get started as well, thank you guys, truly, thank you guys for 100 subscribers. Cheers to that. I am very grateful. Right now, while recording, I have 123 subscribers. This video, if planned correctly, will come out around June once I come back because, you know, I'll be visiting half of Canada right there. And so, you know, I kind of need time to, you know, settle back and edit my audio and everything. I also found out that my camera, not this, like the front side, but the back side camera is broken. I got an iPhone 8, and this is where I'm recording it from, an iPhone 8. So yeah, once I'm rich and famous like Mr. Breast, then I'll buy myself a better camera, hopefully. But yeah, let's get started with the video. Please consider liking and subscribing as it better supports not only my channel, but my work. So let's talk about the Gibraltar Lighthouse. Sponsor me. So before we even start talking about spooky ghosts and all that fancy, you know, stuff, let's talk about the actual history of the Toronto Islands. So in case you're not from Canada or you're not from Toronto specifically, the Toronto Islands are made up of 15 total islands. And back in the day, around the mid-1800s, it was all part of a peninsula. And in case you don't know what a peninsula is, that's okay. We were all five at some point. It is basically a piece of land that's connected to a huge body of water. For example, like Point Roberts, the video I made a while back, technically is a peninsula since it cuts off right in the middle of the Salish Sea. So yeah, long story short, that is basically, it was once a peninsula, and during the mid-1800s, it got cut off. A lot of cool stuff. And then let's talk about the actual lighthouse history. So the lighthouse history is a little bit not as complicated. So it was conceived, so it started to be built in 1803. And the purpose of the lighthouse was actually to guide boats through Lake Ontario, which is part of the greater Great Lakes, in case you're not from the mid-eastern or the Midwest, I suppose. And if you're just American, because Americans don't know anything about geography. And it was completed in 1808. And it also, fun fact, it is the fourth oldest building in Toronto. The other three oldest ones are just cabins, you know, nothing fancy. But this one is the fourth oldest building in Toronto. I thought it was a fun fact, and so I thought I'd mention it. Now let's talk about where the spooky stuff begins. You know, I'm trying to speed run this because I don't want to waste your guys' time. I feel like I already wasted all that time in the intro. So let's talk about John Paul Rademuller. I think. Rademuller, yeah. He was the first lighthouse keeper, and he was born in Bavaria. To kind of give you a bit of history behind Bavaria, it was once part of a grander nation during that time, and it broke off and became part of the German states. Yes, Germany does have states, they have 16, but that is besides the point. The British royal family was mainly German at the time. Which sounds weird, you know, British, German, doesn't really make sense, but the British royal family was made up of a lot of German descent. They spoke German more than English, and they were still connected to their German homeland. I swear this is important, because JP, John Paul, got a job working with King George III's younger brother, which we will find out is the one and only Prince Edward. That's right. Prince Edward Island reference. Yee! I love history. So, yeah, he was a porter for Prince Edward, and he visited Halifax in 1789 with Prince Edward. And somewhere along those lines, between that time period, he fell in love with Canada. He didn't want to go back, and so in 1804, he ended up quitting his job as a porter. And his goal was to head more northwest to like where now Toronto is. He wanted to specifically be in a place called Markham, which was, I don't know if it still is, which was a small community outside the outskirts of modern day Toronto, where a lot of like German descents were. John Paul Rademuller was German himself, and so he wanted to be connected with the same people with same background, same language. And during that small period of time, he ended up getting a job as a translator. He was teaching English as well to German settlers. And then he decided to step his game up further because he was the first lighthouse keeper in 1809. He was hired to be the first one in Gibraltar. And the first major role he played was during the War of 1812. And the War of 1812, in case you don't know, a lot of the battle regarding like boats and naval ships took place in the Great Lakes, so Lake Ontario included. And so, yeah, he was kind of given a heavy job, a heavy responsibility to make sure that lighthouse was operative the entire time, to make sure that the boats were being guided in the direction they needed to be. And also, I should mention this really fun fact. Not fun fact, it's going to be important when it comes to talking about like spooky stuff. John Paul used to make bootleg alcohol during that time. So he used to make his own beer and alcohol within the island of, what's the island called again? Helen? I think Helen Island. Let me double check, give me a sec. I was pretty close. I said Helen's Point, but it's actually Helen's Point. So yeah, pretty close. He used to make alcohol in the lighthouse because, you know, being a lighthouse keeper wasn't necessarily the richest job out there. And so, yeah, soldiers used to sneak up to the island when they weren't either fighting or they were in their camps. And both American, British would sneak up to Helen's Point because they knew that JP, John Paul himself, made alcohol up there. And so it was cheap alcohol and it was good. So, long story short, where does this tie to spooky stuff? Well, pretty simple, because we're going to talk about it. There's 3 different accounts about what really happened to John Paul, and so I will only talk about 2, however, just because the third one ties really, really close to the version number 2. And so, like, to not waste your time, I'm just going to, like, briefly mention the third one. But yeah, so let's talk about version number 1, which ties heavily to version number 2. My bad. I'm getting the numbers mixed up. I'm losing my mind. So version number 1 is like really tied to version number 2, and version number 3 is like the real account, or the most believable account in my opinion. But yeah, let's talk about it. Ooh. If you ladies don't mind, I will be reading from my notes. Look at this beautiful drawing I made. Look at that. Look at that. I put the HBC. I really like the HBC. I still have to make the video about the full history about that. On the evening of January 2nd, 1815, Soldiers from Fort York paid Rademuller a visit for his bootlegged beer, which he sold to supplement his modest income. A dispute broke out during this interaction, and it quickly escalated, and Rademuller was murdered. To avoid prosecution, the body was buried. And version 2, which is literally the same thing, 2 drunk sailors within a drunken rage killed Rademuller. And then version number 3. Version number 3 is going to be the long one, because this is, in my opinion, the most plausible one and the most real one. Even though like they weren't charged for the murder, we need to talk about the trials of Private John Henry and John Blumen. These are the 2 people which were charged for the murder of Rademuller. And I need to tell you about that case because it is a pretty well documented case. And then after that, I'll tell you where like the spooky stuff comes in. So during my research, I actually been very lucky to find the exact newspaper from published on the 14th of January 1815 about JP's death. So here's kind of a copy of it. I will be posting the link in the description so if you guys want to read it and check out, because there's a lot of documentation regarding his murder, his case, and the aftermath of the trial. And so let me just read you what the newspaper says. On the evening of the 2nd of January, J.P. Rademuller, keeper of the lighthouse on Gibraltar Point, from circumstances there is every moral proof of his having been murdered. If the horrid crime admits of abrogation, when the inoffense and benevolent character of the unfortunate sufferer are considered, his murder will be pronounced most barbarous and inhumane. The parties last seen with him are supposed perpetrators and are currently imprisoned. Those being John Blumen and the other guy's name. I forgot the other guy's name. That being John Henry and John Blumen. So let's talk about their case. What happened to these guys? The conclusion of the trial was on March 31st, 1815, just a couple of months after the murder. Now, let me kind of read for you what the jury ended up giving it. So, the jury and the verdict has charged John Blumen and John Henry as not guilty for the murder of January 2nd, 1815, Aunt Rademuller, J.P. Rademuller. So they were not charged for the crimes of the murder. However, there is a lot of strong evidence, at least in my opinion, that they in fact did it. 1, they were missing from Fort York during the time of the murder. 2, they were known to buy alcohol from J.P. Rademuller. And 3, they were aggressive when they were drunk. So those 3 things kind of end up to kind of what we think happened. And so where did the spooky part comes in? And part of what you're thinking, like this is just like another murder. Oh, I should also mention, this is actually the oldest cold case in Toronto too. All right, going back. So where did the spooky part comes in? The spooky part comes in that years later, they ended up finding the rest of Rademuller as well as a coffin with the remains there. But during that entire time leading up to that point, people claim, as well as lighthouse keepers that took over as time went on, claim to see Rademuller still operating the lighthouse, like adding oil in the staircase, shadows, you know, like your average spooky stuff. In my opinion, I'll be straight up with you. This is like a mid horror story. Like this is a mid legend. Like compared to other more scarier stuff, like that's all I can tell you. That's it. It's just shadows and Rademuller I hear haunting. Which honestly, like if Rademuller was a ghost and he really was haunting, like this is the dude I want haunting me. Like an honest working man who was just trying to make a living and then was brutally murdered. And so he's just trying to continue doing his job as he's dead. Like, haunt me, Rademuller. I mean, hell, I would give you permission. You know, come to GCU, come to Arizona, man. I'll show you around. But yeah, so that is basically the legend. He was murdered under mysterious circumstances, even though I believe that John Henry and John Blumen did it. And then people just see him every now and then, chilling in the lighthouse. we are gonna go to Gibraltar Lighthouse. I'm very excited. But I am like posting this, or I'm recording this currently like 2 months in advance. And so hopefully by the time you see me again, it's gonna be an extra 2 months. If I don't make it a Gibraltar Point, this video will never see the public eye. But if I do make it a Gibraltar Point, then you will be seeing the next clip in 3, 2, 1. All right, we are now here in Fort York. Really important thing to know about Fort York is that the 2 suspects that allegedly murdered JP Rademüller came from this fort, and we are about, I say, well, it took me 30 minutes. We're a 30-minute walk from the boat terminal to Holland's Point. So when I say that Fort York wasn't far, it was not far. So that is why I believe the 2 suspects were the ones that killed Rademüller. But yeah, we're gonna walk around the fort, gotta check it out for a bit. I'm not sure if you could enter the buildings, but I don't think so because they're pretty old. But yeah, let's see. Who knows which building Rademüller murderers lived in, but this right here was a blockhouse. It's kind of cool little history here. Yeah, I might do a little tour. I don't know if you can enter. Let's find out. Oh, you can enter there. That's super cool. So here are some cannonballs that were actually used during the war of 1812, and as well as the Battle of Fort York. So pretty cool stuff. Fort York was involved in a lot of battles, but we won't get into that since this is Rademüller's video, not a Fort York's video. But look at that, some original cannons. Pretty cool stuff. I often wonder, oh, look at that. Oh, I'd kill for one of these firearms. That's a really cool piece. Cool piece of technology. I'm a big fan of, oh, look at that, silver cannon, or the swivel cannon, my bad. Look how cool that is, dude. I don't want to break it, but I do want to touch it, but I won't touch it because I don't want to ruin it. Man, look at those 2 guys. They were getting zesty up in here. Look at that. They knew they were being you know, they were zesty gentlemen back in Fort York. Good to know. What else do we have? We got more weapons of war. Small arms. Oh, this is really cool stuff, dude. I'm actually pooping and peeing my pants. Oh, look. Just for you to kind of get a better impression. So basically this was old Fort York right here. So there was kind of the old map of Toronto before it became Drake's house. And then all the way over there is Holland's Point. So as you can see, it's not really far. It is a possible distance to reach by boat during the early years. So yeah, so over there you can see the port, and then right here is Holland's Point. In fact, they don't really have a little, oh yeah, look, here's the lighthouse. That's Gibraltar Lighthouse. So it kind of gives you an idea. So yeah, I guess we're doing a really deep dive into the Rademüller's death. I didn't think they'll have that map right there. And then this was the original construction of the Fort York layout. So pretty cool stuff. Little British flag. God bless the British, I suppose. And then let's see, who do we have here? That guy looks familiar. That looks like that's not Drummond, is it? There's no picture. It looks like Drummond. I'll put a picture of Drummond, but actually no, I don't think that's Drummond. That looks like No, it's not Phineas Real. It looks like someone. I'm not sure who it looks like, but it looks like someone. Oh, look at this cannon. Look at that. You can just like, and then put another ball in there. I don't know how cannons work. I never shot a cannon. Or this or artillery. My bad, artillery. Pretty cool stuff. This was also used in the Battle of Lundy's Lane. This is the things that they used to put on top of Lundy's Lane. However, that is not a Lundy's Lane. This is not a Lundy's Lane video. I keep getting distracted. Pretty cool stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a really big fan of this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna keep it 100. Then you got miniature cannons. Pretty cool. Let's see what's upstairs. This place just opened like 3 minutes ago, so I am the first one here. So I'm really glad I am the first one here. This is also the original layouts. Obviously been painted through the years, but these are the original buildings of Fort York that I'm currently standing on. All right, look at that. Pretty cool stuff. Native stuff. Yep, we get that. Kind of the map of the area. Cool. Belt buckles. Dude, imagine what kind of bling that would be if you had that today. Gucci belt, I mean, yeah, that's cool, but imagine wearing that. That'd be pretty sick. Let's see. Before the War of 1812, cool stuff. Oh, they got more guns. Check it out, more guns. How cool would that be? Imagine defending your home with a musket. As the joke says, the Second Amendment was supposed to be for muskets. Who would have thought the founding fathers knew that we were going to have AR-15s? So now imagine defending your home with this bad boy. A robber pulls up and then you just like big metal ball to his chest. I don't know about you, but I kind of prefer getting shot by 9mm than a musket ball. Call me crazy. Pretty cool stuff. British uniforms, yep. Cool to be British. We love the British. I'm just trying to see if I can find any familiar faces. Pocket pistol. Look at that. It was yeah. Flintlock with a double barrel pocket pistol. That's a bad one. That's a cool one right there. Imagine having that. You got the dual pistols. Oh, dude, I wish I had one of these. The 5-shot revolver. That right there is a classic. It's 45. Oh yeah, it's right there. 45 caliber. Pretty cool stuff. What else do we have? I promise we will get to the lighthouse. I just thought I'll show you Fort York. Actually, we'll just go to the lighthouse. You guys seen enough of Fort York, I suppose. You get the idea. It wasn't far from the Highlands Point. I don't want to bore you guys. However, I will be vlogging. I am posting a vlogging video. I don't know how many times I mentioned that in this video, but yeah. So if you guys want to see the full tour of Fort York, check out that video. It's going to be posted shortly after this one. But yeah. So I'm gonna now transition to the vlog. So thank you guys. I have made it. Please, I just need to cross to this side without falling. I see the lighthouse. I see it. All right, it's right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can't zoom in, but I've made it. I've made it. Ah! I had to cross like what, 3 islands to get here. I am pooped. I have been walking all over the city and now I walked 3 islands to see a goofy lighthouse. It's all worth it. It's all worth it because I chose to do this and I accomplished it. And that is what makes it worth it. And now I need to cross this goofy pile of water So I need to get on ice again. Oh no, I gotta go this way. All right. Hopefully I don't slip. Oh, I'm gonna slip. Oh, I'm gonna slip. All right, I need to strap this to my chest. I need both hands. I gotta jump it. All right. All right. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it because I promised you guys that in my last video about the Gibraltar lighthouse that I was gonna go here and show you guys, and so I am determined. Oh yes. Oh yes, I made it. All right, nothing's gonna stop me because I see it. It's right there. It's just down the street. Not thick snow, not nothing. My feet are covered with ice, but I don't care anymore. All right, this is really cool. It sucks, and the fact that I have to turn around and get back on the boat is something I don't want to think about yet. But I gotta walk another hour. I'm probably gonna only be here for 5 minutes, realistically, just to record the Point Gibraltar Lighthouse video. But I've made it. Oh, that was cold. Oh, that was horrible. I'm fine. All right. I'm fine. Okay. I could turn around. There. I passed that horrible puddle. There it is. There it is. I see 2 combs. Probably saying cars can't pass, but I'm sure I'm still gonna pass because you could bet your ass I didn't do all of this for nothing. Oh. Lucky that it stopped snowing. The sun is out. It is perfect weather to go to this lighthouse. Allegedly it is haunted. People have claimed to see a bunch of stuff here, but I don't care because JP Rademuller, the gentleman who allegedly haunts this place, was pretty chill. If you guys want to learn about that, you have to check out the Gibraltar Lighthouse video. Believe me, it is worth it. And at this point, why not at least give me 10 seconds of viewership? This is a lot of work, and all I ask is for at least 10 seconds. Assuming you made it this far. I highly doubt anyone's gonna be watching this far in, just because I know there's not a lot of content. But it's fun. So now I need to step on a bunch of crunchy ice again to make it, but it'll be worth it. Okay, I'm fine. I'll just step into places people have already stepped. Okay. Oh man, this sucks. I made it. Oh, my legs. I'm hoping you guys hear those satisfying crunches. All right. Ghosts, I'm here. JP Rademuller, I'm here. So I kind of gave you essentially the 2 murderers POV on how they got to this island, starting from Fort York all the way to the lighthouse. So here's the lighthouse, guys. I feel like I should unscrew it now. Give me a second, I need to take a photo of it. Oh, Okay, let me take out my GoPro. So here's the beef. Let me take this out, close that, put that back in. Okay, hi guys. Let me take out my AirPod. Hi. I need to take out my AirPod. I'm tired of listening to music. Okay, hi guys. We are here at the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse, where JP Rademüller, as well as known as the first lighthouse keeper, was brutally murdered by those two British soldiers in Fort York, which we just went to. If you guys saw the vlog version of the video, then you will know that I walked from Fort York all the way over here. I'm tired, I'm pooped, my legs hurt, but we've made it, and that's the important point. I basically gave you the POV of how these two gentlemen managed to walk all the way over here and take a boat. But yeah, look at that. Allegedly it's haunted. I don't personally believe in ghosts, not as much as I should anyways, but yeah, apparently JP Rademüller haunts this area. Let's see if the door is open. Please tell me the door is open. Please tell me the door is open. Nope, it's locked. That's okay. But we're here at the lighthouse. Look at that. So was completed in 1808, 52 feet high. We already know that, we already went through it. The mysterious disappearance of its first keeper, JP Rademüller, in 1815. Personally, it's not a mystery. He was murdered. I know he was murdered. He had to be, because they found his body in this very island where I'm standing on. The island is fairly small compared to the other ones I've been through. I'm currently in Holland's Point, and I started walking from Ward's Island, so it was a long walk. It sucked. It was horrible. But technically, if I were a British soldier, this is where I will go to buy bootleg beer. So it's kind of crazy to think I essentially took the exact same route that the murderers did. In fact, they probably walked from here to this very door nearly 100 and odd years ago. They opened this door and they went in here. That is crazy to think about. Unfortunately, the lighthouse is now abandoned and there is no access to it. Unfortunately, very unfortunately. You know how disappointed I am, but it was worth the walk. And the fact that I have to walk back all the way to essentially Ward's Island, so another hour walk. You know, I just got here and I've only been recording for 9 minutes, so I don't know how much is gonna make the final cut, but yeah, it was worth it. Look at that. Oh, this lighthouse is so cool. Yeah, let's walk around it. Let's see if we can find the place where they discovered JP Rademüller's body. But I don't know if there's a sign for that, because I don't know if you wanna have a sign for that. Apparently this place is haunted, but I don't see any spooky ghosts, and so I don't think it's haunted. Yeah, but hopefully I don't slip. I already slipped in the Lundy's Lane video. I don't want to slip for the Gibraltar one too. All right. Okay, so I hope you guys I really hope you guys considered subscribing to my channel. As you can see, I put a lot of dedication to these videos, because not only do I care that the full complete version of history is told, but I also want to show you guys. It is one thing to talk about it, but it is another to go all the way to the place where the event took place and record it for you guys. It's two different things. And now after this video, I'm going all the way to Ottawa, because there is a abandoned building in the middle of nowhere that I really want to check out. I don't know where this path is leading. Oh, there's a building right here. High building. Oh, it's just a power building. Ah, shucks. I thought there was gonna be like something spooky. But this is cool, kind of being in a weird little island, where a haunted island at that. But there's no ghost, so I'm disappointed of the lack of ghosts that are present with us. Like I mentioned in the as I mentioned a while back, if Rademuller is here, he should really tag on. I'll take him to Arizona. He could get away from this goofy cold weather. But yeah, this is where the Gibraltar Lighthouse video ends, and I'm gonna go back to doing the vlogging on the other video that I will be posting shortly. I really hope you guys consider liking and subscribing. I really hope you guys consider liking and subscribing, and check out the vlog video, which I will be posting soon if it's not up yet. I am sinking in snow with every step I take. Okay, now that I point the camera, I'm no longer sinking. But yeah, look at that. I'm currently in Toronto. That's Toronto. And there's the lighthouse, in case you guys forgot to see it. There's not much to see here, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you for watching, and we're going back to the vlog now in 3, 2, 1.